I didn't have time in sparring, but I had at least over 15 years of knowing him, amateur, professional. I've seen where he started. I've seen how he's gotten better over time, but I also just know what resides in him. He's a dog. He's a beast.
A lot of people are counting Crawford out. Crawford's he's smart. He knows what he's doing. Canelo, you know, I mean, he's not that big of a guy. He obviously weighs more, but I mean, you can't take nothing from Crawford. He goes in there to win.
If Crawford was a light heavyweight, it'd be different. But his body frame as a grown man once fought at 135.
Experts are ringing alarm bells as whispers grow louder that Terence Crawford could shock the world and topple Canelo Alvarez. Meanwhile, former world champion Daniel Jacobs spoke out, reminding fans that boxers like Crawford and Canelo put their lives on the line every time they step through the ropes. Jacobs didn't mince words, pointing out the stark reality that while fans cheer, celebrate, and return home to their families once the final bell rings, the fighters often head straight to hospitals carrying both physical wounds and the invisible weight of stress and trauma that linger long after the crowd is gone.
When you really think about it, us fighters put our lives on the line for entertainment. You know, people get to go home to their families after the fight, and we got to go to the hospital, or we got to deal with all of the stress and traumas that come with that. So it's good for us to be able to be appreciated in a manner of being a prize fighter and having that be reciprocated at the end. At the end of the day, it's for the love of the sport. When I go inside that ring, I do it for the fans, I do it for myself, and I just do it for the legacy. So I'm happy now, and there is nothing else that I need to do to make me feel like I didn't put my all on the line.
However, having stepped in the ring with Canelo Alvarez and knowing Terence Crawford up close, Daniel Jacobs stated that he is hyped for the Canelo-Crawford clash. Jacobs believes Crawford is a beast on a mission, carrying a point to prove as he steps in the ring. He sees this showdown as a razor-close 50-50 fight, but adds that if he had to put money on it, his pick would lean toward Crawford.
I didn't have time in sparring, but I had at least over 15 years of knowing him, amateur, professional. I've seen where he started. I've seen how he's gotten better over time, but I also just know what resides in him. He's a dog. He's a beast. And he's out to prove something too, so I'm excited about this fight. Canelo obviously is self-explanatory. There's really no need to go down the rabbit hole when it comes to him, but I do see this being as a 50-50 fight. But if I was a betting man, I would bet on Crawford, but also too, you can't count Canelo out. I mean, would go in, I'm assuming, as the favorite, which is rightfully so.
In addition, Jose Benvdz has thrown his prediction into the mix for the mega showdown. From his perspective, Crawford's ring IQ and tactical sharpness give him the edge against Canelo, who despite his reputation doesn't hold a huge physical advantage in this matchup.
A lot of people are counting Crawford out. Crawford's he's smart. He knows what he's doing. Canelo, you know, I mean, he's not that big of a guy. He obviously weighs more, but I mean, you can't take nothing from Crawford. He goes in there to win. So I mean, I feel like it'd be a good fight. You know, it sucks that my brother didn't get the opportunity, but I mean, only Canelo knows why it didn't happen. And you just got to keep moving forward, you know, got to keep moving forward, but it's going to be a good fight to watch.
Hence, Benvdz expects fireworks when these two step through the ropes. Jose recognizes Crawford's ability to adjust and is backing him to take the win.
I got Crawford on this one. Seeing with him, he adjusts. He's a smart motherfucker. He adjusts. He's not only does he switch from, you know, from southpaw to orthodox, but he's just a smart. He has a high IQ in boxing, you know, and that's what I feel like. All these fighters that go in there to fight Canelo, they already go in there scared, is what I believe, you know, that which already beats him, you know. So Crawford's gonna go in there to fuck, not gonna go in there to fuck. So I mean, I have it going Crawford, bro, to be honest with you.
Weighing in, Terence Crawford sent a message to Canelo Alvarez as the blockbuster clash draws closer. Crawford adds that his camp is on track and his body feels sharp. For Terence, everything is falling perfectly into place. With September 13th circled in red, Bud is locked in on carving his name even deeper into the history books by becoming a 3-time undisputed world champion.
Oh, I'm feeling great. I've been working out. You know, actually, I just got done running before we, you know, head into the press conference. So everything is going according to plan, and I'm looking forward to becoming a 3-time undisputed champion come September 13th.
I see the water. I know who the #1 fisherman is. Even big fish get caught.
Building on that, Showbiz the Adult stepped in to defend Canelo Alvarez, calling out critics who have forgotten what makes the Mexican superstar so dangerous. According to Showbiz, too many fans have written Canelo off, ignoring how he stalks opponents with calculated pressure. The talk around sluggish footwork, he argues, misses the bigger picture. Canelo's hand speed, head movement, and ability to close distance remain lethal weapons that can flip a fight on its head at any moment.
They just dissing, right? They don't see how he actually stalks his opponents. They think he can't. They see his footwork as just in the mud and he can't take a step. Well, that's where y'all got it effed up. 100% effed up. Y'all don't know his hand speed and head speed. That's where y'all got it really messed up. Another thing is, y'all think Crawford's gonna run. He's not. Crawford's gonna let his hands go. He's gonna try to land on Canelo. Let me tell you what Canelo does. How Canelo backs you up.
In addition, Showbiz doubled down by breaking down exactly how the Mexican star could handle Terence Crawford in the ring.
He did it to Charlo all night. He puts it on one shoulder and make you go this way. He does this, he has this cock to hit you with the right there on your shoulder. So he makes you go this way, and when you do, he hits you with that left hook. And he's only gonna be hitting the arms of Crawford for the first couple rounds. Bam, 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 bam. And what I'm saying is, Crawford isn't Berlanga, he isn't Callum Smith, he isn't Benvdz, he isn't huge people who can try to absorb those punch breakdowns. Benvdz himself said that Canelo punches harder than Berlanga. It ain't gonna take many punches.
Adding to his breakdown, Showbiz made it clear that it won't take a high volume of shots for Canelo Alvarez to make his mark on Terence Crawford. He believes Canelo's power shots will do real damage early, shaking up Crawford and wearing him down over time.
If Crawford was a light heavyweight, it'd be different. But his body frame as a grown man once fought at 135. John Ryder, punches that broke the orbital bone of Billy Joe Saunders, punches that dropped Munguia, punches that stopped Caleb Plant, is going to wreck Crawford. And that's the Black Two Sugars, because Gamboa rocked Crawford.
Moreover, former heavyweight champ Shannon Briggs weighed in on the mega fight, and he's leaning firmly in Crawford's corner. Briggs expects an explosive battle once the opening bell rings, but believes Crawford has what it takes to shut down the fight inside the distance. Having known Crawford since he was just 12 years old, Briggs says it's been remarkable to watch him rise through the ranks.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a great fight. I got Crawford by stoppage, and I've known him since he was a little kid, 12 years old. So to see him now fighting for a title in such a big fight, he can fight both ways. He gonna trick him up. One thing Canelo showed is that he can be outboxed. But I think this time in the late rounds, I think Crawford gonna have something for him.
Shannon, always good to see you, my friend.
You're the best, champ. Let's go, champ.
Interestingly, this blockbuster showdown has even pulled stars from beyond the boxing world into the conversation. The rap legend Snoop Dogg, weighing in with his trademark swagger, stated that he has never gone against Canelo. Additionally, he pointed out how his Mexican fans and friends always hit him up whenever Canelo squares off with a black fighter, asking him to bet on the black guy.
What you don't want to do is get in the ring with him, though, because he turns into a monster when he gets in the ring. So you don't want to poke the bear. Canelo the shit. I don't go against him at all. All my Mexican friends love calling me when he fighting a black fighter trying to bet me. It's not racist, it's the truth. All you motherfuckers, y'all love calling me when Canelo fighting against a black man. You want to bet, Holmes? Holmes, you want to bet? Fuck it, let's bet. But if it's Mexican on Mexican, who y'all gonna take?
However, for Snoop, he has never bet against Canelo until now. In a surprising twist, Snoop Dogg stated that he's breaking his own rule. Despite always riding with Canelo Alvarez in the past, the rap icon says this time he's putting his money on Terence Crawford to get the job done.
Got Bud Crawford? That's where I got my money at. I'm betting on Bud.
But you got Bud?
Bud. Nebraska, you hear me? Go with the Underdog. Speaking of the Underdog, it's on Amazon Prime right now. We'll check it out. Uno.
Moreover, Jerrell Miller made his stance clear on the fight. He states that he's leaning firmly towards Terence Crawford to get the win over Canelo Alvarez. According to Miller, too many people are underestimating Crawford's strength right now and overlooking the fact that he is hungrier than Canelo. While Miller admits he likes and respects both fighters, he's convinced that Crawford's hunger and will to win will lead him to victory.
I think it's a great fight. I think it's like Turkey said, it's one of the biggest fights in the last 10 years. I'm surprised of how big Crawford is right now. Surprised. I said, I got love for both fighters. I've been around Crawford a lot more than Canelo, so I'm pushing for Crawford more. And I thought that Canelo would have been too big for Crawford. But then studying Crawford for so long over the years, come from a wrestling background. That's why he's never missed weight. He knows how to cut weight, knows how to put weight on. It's going to be a tough fight. It's not going to be an easy fight for Canelo. And I'm thinking Crawford's going to pull it off. I'm pulling for Crawford in this one. I think people are underestimating his strength right now and his size. And I think he's a little more hungry than Canelo. So let's see, though. But I like both guys, but I'm a little closer to Crawford, so I want to see Crawford can take it.
Let's stop him. It's going to be a good fucking fight. I'm big Crawford.
Was he strong?
Strong as shit. I always say that.
Adding his own take, Eddie Hearn shared his thoughts on Crawford and Canelo, shedding light on the champion's mindset behind the scenes. Hearn pointed out that every time he talks with Terence Crawford, Crawford's unshakable self-belief is impossible to ignore. While he shifted his sides from Canelo to Bud, he is back to Canelo, siding with him for the win.
I'm going back and forwards, to be honest with you. Like, when I talk to Bud, he convinces me that he's going to win the fight because he's such a believer in his own ability and he's very convincing. And then you see the presser yesterday and I thought Canelo looked really well. Do you know what I mean? Obviously he's a big lump, so I was always Canelo, then I sort of leant towards Bud, but now I'm back with Canelo, so we'll see.
Offering a sharp contrast, Tim Bradley raised serious questions about whether Alvarez really has the power to finish Terence Crawford. Bradley pointed out that if Canelo couldn't put away Jermell Charlo, there's little reason to believe he'll knock out Crawford.
If Canelo couldn't knock out Charlo, or you really think that he's gonna knock out Crawford? I would pick Terence Crawford to beat a Canelo Alvarez, even at 168. Everybody can call me crazy and whatever you want to say. I get it. Y'all didn't believe me when I told you about Spence, but trust me, Crawford will figure out a way. I know a secret y'all don't know, and I ain't gonna tell you why I would pick Terence Crawford, but it's part of the secret is the reason why I'm picking him to win the fight.
Furthermore, super featherweight champion Alicia Bombgardner added her voice to the mix, stating that boxing is all about chasing challenges, and Terence Crawford is proving he's ready to step up and test himself at the highest level. On the other hand, she points out that Canelo Alvarez is the ultimate challenge for Crawford and is someone with years of experience in his corner. Baumgardner believes that the pedigree of experience could make all the difference when the bell rings.
Boxing's all about taking challenges, and I think Terence Crawford has shown that he's ready to take that challenge, but also Canelo is the challenge. So, I think Canelo likes to have fun, and he's been in the sport for quite some time, so the experience will say a lot.
That's a great fight. You have two experienced fighters. When we talk about experience, when we talk about athleticism, when we talk about skill, all those come together when you think of Terence Crawford and Canelo. And with what I'm seeing is that, Canelo's been in this game for years. He's experienced with losses twice. He took a challenge fighting Bivol, lost, came back. He's doing what he loves to do. And I think we saw the fight with Terence Crawford and him dominate in a fashion that the world was ready to see. And then we've seen his last fight. So we're kind of taking off from your last fight, seeing that it's going to be a great fight. I can't pick a winner, but experience speaks, and experience will trump everything come that fight.
I definitely think she should make the necessary adjustment.
Definitely. Final prediction, Canelo Crawford.
I'm edging Canelo.
Building on that, former light middleweight champion Fernando Vargas added his take on the mega fight, stating that he has deep regard for both fighters, praising both as incredible fighters in their own right. But when it comes down to it, Vargas says there's only one way to lean, and for him, that edge goes to Canelo Alvarez.
Commentary is that you're going to be running, what you should is not running, it's boxing. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I love both of those fighters. I think Canelo's a hell of a fighter, and so is Crawford, and so you know. But you know, of course, you gotta go with Russ. You gotta have your, you know, your favorite. Canelo's a hell of a fighter. You know, you know that it's time to go to war. It's time to go to war. It's time, you know, not messing around. Let's work. Let's do what we gotta do.
Moreover, Caleb Plant shared his thoughts on how Terence should approach the fight. Plant asked Terence to stay calm and be himself, as he has the skill set required to make the upset. He advised him to have fun in camp and enjoy it.
Terence to be himself. As I said before, from the inside, mid-range, outside, southpaw, right hand, moving left, moving right, he can do it all. So I would encourage him to stay relaxed, go in there, have fun, you know, have a good camp.
Much like Caleb Plant, trainer Calvin Ford offered some grounded advice for Terence Crawford. Ford believes Crawford should stick to what's brought him this far. From Ford's perspective, Crawford's proven style and sharp instincts have always delivered when it counts, and staying true to that formula could be the key to getting the job done once again.
Keep doing what you've been doing. Why would I change up what he's been doing? He's been winning. He's been getting the job done. You know, when he shut down Earl, that was perfect. It ain't like he ain't been in no big fights. That was a fight everybody thought they was gonna get a roller coaster, and it went turns.
That was like Hagler Hearns. You thought you didn't know what was gonna happen.
We didn't get that.
And he dominated.
We didn't get that fight that we thought we was gonna get.
Yeah.
And then seeing Canelo and him do it, everybody said, man, we might get the fight that we gonna get.
But let's just say hypothetically, Coach, you're in his corner. He knows what he has to do, but any guidance that you would give him, any little tips you would give him, you think?
How would I say? Like I say, I wouldn't change up anything Terence doing because he's been winning with me.
Additionally, Calvin Ford added that he's glad to see both Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford stepping into a fight of this magnitude. Ford pointed out that it's been a while since Crawford has had a mega fight like this. He states that this is another legacy fight in the making.
Both fighters, you know, Crawford getting another serious young African-American fighting him. You know, it's been a while, you know what I'm saying? And this guy, he's alive. Canelo is the GOAT, and it's good for Terence Crawford to see that guy, you know what I'm saying? And it's good for Canelo to see him. You know, it gives something for the boxing world to talk about, and everybody looking forward to it.
Furthermore, Calvin sounds off on the popular notion that styles make fights. He states that it is not the styles, but the fighters who make the fight it does.
What I have been seeing him when he's in the ring, he's been flawless with it, you know what I'm saying? But again, Canelo is the GOAT. He's the man to beat, so that's what makes fights. You know, everybody keeps saying styles make fights. It ain't nothing about styles. It's the fighters that's going against each other. That's what makes the fight, that makes the fight.
In picking a side, Ford admits that it would be difficult to predict who will be the one getting his hands raised, but stated that it will be a good fight for the fans.
All right, and who are you leaning towards? Who do you think's gonna take it?
It's hard to say, man. I mean, because again.
All right, I'm gonna give you $1,000 of my money, and I need you to place a bet for me, Coach Ford. So who are you gonna bet the money on?
I'm gonna bet on me. I'm gonna tell you why. Because Canelo is good at that weight class that he at.
Yes.
It's going to be a good fight for the fight fans, you know what I'm saying, the fight gods. Everybody looking forward to it. It's something to talk about.
In the end, as the countdown continues, the voices from every corner of the fight world and beyond have made one thing crystal clear, that this fight is a moment that could redefine greatness for whoever's hand is raised. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button, share it with a boxing fan, but don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss a beat. We will see you in the next video with more exciting updates, so stay tuned.